Island of Sint Maarten. We just got off the ship, the Summit, and we're traveling this beautiful island. It's so different. We love it. Check the background. This is, of course, a new residential area. So you can come to Sint Maarten. I'm coming to Sint Maarten. I've got to get one of these properties. But, sweetheart, we have a lot more to show you. So stay tuned. We're going to be right back. Welcome to another very exciting edition of the Maxine Tulloch Show. Today we are in Sint Maarten and Sint Maarten, and of course that is in the Caribbean. And seated with me today is, of course, Marla Chemont. I got it. Welcome to the Maxine Tulloch Show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Alrighty. We have been traveling through this beautiful island. It is, none of the other island looks like it. It's quite different. There are some parts that really looks like the other Caribbean, but the majority of it, and it's beautiful. Talk to us about this beautiful island, the culture, the influence in the one country. No, it's one island, two countries.
Correct.
Yes.
Well, as you've seen, we're French and we're Dutch.
Right.
So we are powered and governed by two sovereign governments.
Two different
governments. So we have a French side that falls under first the Department of Guadeloupe, which reports to France.
Okay. Department of Guadeloupe?
Guadeloupe, yes.
Okay.
And then the Dutch side, which we are now,
right.
That is, we're part of the Kingdom of Holland. So we are European as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's what the driver said, that he's European. I said, okay, all right. But you know what? It does have a European flavor. And that's what I was trying to figure out. I said, it's Caribbean, but still there's something about it.
Yeah, so we offer you a warm setting in the Caribbean, and you can taste the flavors of the French and the Dutch. Of course, most people speak English. You would hear some French here and there. You would hear some Dutch, more French. We also have papiamento because we're a melting pot. The Sint Maarten has like over 109 different nationalities. Okay. So we have flavor that is just in galore.
Right, like you said, the melting pot.
The melting pot, yes.
Right, okay.
So our influence of the culture, it's mainly the French and Dutch, but we are still more typical Caribbean people. The traditional local person would be typical Caribbean. So where you'll find in the neighboring islands, you know, the saltfish and Johnny cakes and the dumplings and the callaloo, etc. Those are also our traditional foods. Okay. And speaking about food, Sint Maarten is so diverse. We have over 350 different restaurants. 350
restaurants, okay.
Yes, on both sides of the island, and that's like our top count. It's always a little over or a little under, but usually over, and it's cuisines vary from Indonesian, Moroccan, French, Italian. We do have a Russian restaurant that just opened, I think about 2 weeks ago. Okay. So it's a place you can just come and enjoy the dinner, you enjoy the culture of the people. With French and Dutch, you hear Spanish spoken on the island. You hear the dialect of papiamento, which is a dialect from our neighboring Curacao, brothers and sisters.
And you have the Creole.
We have the Creole.
And you say patois too?
We have patois. So the Creole, the difference with the Creole, you have the French Creole, which are from Guadeloupe and Martinique. You have the patois, which is more Haiti. But then you have a mixture of Creole patois, which would be St. Lucia and Dominica.
Okay.
So
and Jamaica.
And Jamaica. So we have a little bit, because we have all of these different nationalities on the island. Okay. We have a little bit of everything going on.
All right. Well, talk to me about education, because you have all these influence. What is taught in school? English is the dominant language?
Well, depends on which side of the island you're
on the Dutch side.
So on the Dutch side, you have the option of actually being taught in English, and then you will get Dutch, French, Spanish as a subject.
As the subject, okay.
Or on the Dutch side, you get taught in Dutch, and then you get English, French, and Spanish as a subject. So depending on which school you would like to go to or you would like the kids to go to, that's one of the options. On the French side, you are actually taught in French, all of the schools. And
You're
then
taught
you get
in French.
Taught in
French.
French.
In French.
In French, yes. And then you get the Spanish and the English as a subject.
Okay.
So that's part of why most people on the island are bilingual.
I was about to say, you guys are bilingual.
Yes, we are.
Even though they taught us Spanish and French in Jamaica, we never use it.
I know.
We never use it. We just go, huh? You know, you have to pass the subject to graduate.
Yeah, exactly,
right.
exactly. But because of where we're located, because we're like 150 miles from Puerto Rico, and we have that Spanish influence, so it's just great being the island that we are, and opening our arms to all these different cultures. We've actually become a bilingual country. By that means.
Okay, beautiful. All right. Now, your nightlife. You said this is a place with nightlife.
You know what? I hate to know that you're going back on a cruise ship right now or in a few hours from now.
Yeah.
Because you're really missing out. We have such a wonderful nightlife. We have casinos. They're all on the Dutch side, by the way.
On the Dutch side, on this side?
On this side of the island. There's no casinos on the French side. It's by law. It's they don't allow it.
They don't allow it. It's okay. All right.
It's not allowed. It's illegal.
Yeah.
And we have nightlife that's both scattered on the island in terms of nightclubs. We have those that's locally catered to the locals, and then those are tourists. But tourists mingle throughout the island because of the layout of the island, because it's so easy to get around.
Yeah.
You'll find the tourists hanging out at the local nightclubs. You'll find the locals hanging out at what would be basically termed a tourist club or tourist restaurant area. You know, it's all mingled. We all mingle together.
Okay. Well, I noticed driving around for concert, I saw Damian Marley, the poster, and Busy Signal. I was quite surprised to see you guys know about dancehall music.
I mean, and with the influence of all the cultures, definitely we cannot say you know, no to the music, because it's really a lively music.
Yes.
People mingle. You can go. We have so many different little bars that have, you know, catered to the Jamaicans or to the Guyanese or
to the Trinidadians.
To the Trinidadians, whatever. So yeah, musically we're culturally open. We're culturally mixed, and you get just about salsa, merengue. You have
the soca.
You have the reggae, which is. Every island probably has reggae.
Yeah, every island has reggae.
Reggae's everywhere, so.
Bob Marley put us on the map.
Yes, he did. He certainly did.
Yes, wonderful. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll take a break. And when we come back, we'll pick up on some other subject. Okay? We'll be right back after these messages. How's the crime rate?
Crime rate, I would say, the crime on the island is like mostly petty, you know, like robbery and stuff. Okay. We do have murders, but not as much as you would, you know,
as the others.
2 or 3 murders, you know.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's a small island.
Murders what?
For the year, yeah.
Oh, okay.
2, 3, 4 for the and most of it is sometimes domestic, you know, or drug related.
Drug related,
yeah. But the drugs have cooled down a lot on the island. The drug murders, I would say.
The drug murders.
Yeah. Since government made a big bust a couple of months, I would say last year. Yeah. So we're in the capital on the Dutch side.
Welcome back to the Maxine Tulloch Show, and welcome back Marla from Sint Maarten. Okay, and that's StMaarten. Now we're going to talk about your population on this beautiful island. We've got to come back.
Yes, you do.
Oh,
yes,
Lordy.
You do.
This one is different.
It is.
This one is different.
So, well, our population, the island is 37 square miles.
Okay.
So it's really one of the smaller islands in the Caribbean, with the exception of Saba and St Eustatius, which is both Dutch islands as well, neighboring to us.
Yeah.
We're the smallest island in the whole world. That's 2 sovereign countries, as I mentioned earlier. And our population on the Dutch side, which is 16 square miles, is 84,000.
Okay.
And believe it or not, on the French side, which is 21 square miles, it's actually 34,000.
Less?
Much less.
Oh, no.
And you may ask why that is.
Well, yeah, I was, okay. Yeah, okay.
The reason for, well, the reason for that is it's really the visa requirements and the entry.
The visa requirements?
Yes, and the entry policies to get into the French side. So That side is a little more lax,
Yeah.
so it's easier to get your paperwork processed, etc.
On the Dutch side?
On the Dutch side.
Okay. So how were we able to just drive into the French side?
That's the catch. So you're here for the day
Right.
on the cruise, so that's
Right.
fine.
Uh-huh.
You can go back and forth. Only thing you would probably need is an ID card because of any incidents or what have you. You have your ID card to identify you.
Right.
But going back and forth on the island, it's easy breeze. You just go back and forth as many times as you like.
Okay.
And hang out in whatever town that you like. It's not a problem.
Like them all.
Yes. But staying on the Dutch side, if you're staying and you do have, there's certain countries that do need visa requirements, the policies are a little more easier
Yes.
than on the French side. It's yeah.
All right, I'm going to ask you the big question, and I hope you're able to tell me, and I don't put you in any
I will try.
position. Growing up in Jamaica, in doing geography, this region was considered the Greater Antilles and the Lesser Antilles, and it's no longer that.
Yeah, it's
Talk to me about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not referred to much as that, and that was also because we were also known and more commonly referred to as the Dutch Caribbean Islands. So you had
all of the islands.
All the Dutch Caribbean islands,
which is St. Bart's and so forth. Yes.
Well, St. Bart's is part of the French. So
right.
You have the French Antilles, you have the Dutch Antilles, you have the ABC Islands, the SSS Islands, and then you had the Guadeloupe Point de Peats, and so it was different distinctions known by the respective different countries.
Okay.
Depending on where you grew up and where you're from, you would
right.
hear. Today things has changed. We actually went through a constitutional change, and Sint Maarten is now directly reporting to the Kingdom of Holland. Whereas in the past, I know it gets a little complicated.
Okay, go ahead.
But in the past, we were actually on the ABC Islands, and Curaçao was basically the country that dealt more directly with Holland and on our behalf.
Okay.
We went through a constitutional change, so now we're reporting directly to Holland. So we have a bigger voice.
Okay.
As opposed to in the past.
Okay.
So now you may hear the islands referred to as the Kingdom of Bonaire, Saba and Sint Eustatius, because they are considered province of Holland.
Of Holland, okay. Province, okay.
Yes. Where Sint Maarten is now considered a country. So it's not independent, but it's we're recognized as a autonomous country that can basically manage itself, with the exception of a few things, for instance, like water protection and the Coast Guard services, etc. So the main concern, the main rules for Holland right now over Sint Maarten is to ensure that our waters are protected. In the event of any major situations, then they would come in and lend a hand.
Okay, beautiful, wonderful.
And the French also went through a similar change, and they're also reporting to Guadeloupe, and Guadeloupe is sort of like the big sister in that region for the French islands.
For the French islands.
Yes.
I'm a little confused with that
I
one,
know.
but you know what? Okay, it's all right. We're gonna take a break.
I hope I didn't confuse everyone else.
No. It's just that I've seen so much, and all these little islands, we were able to see them, visually see them, and we're like, they're part of this, and which is the greater, which is the lesser. Yeah. But I think you pretty much explained that. It's just the French portion. You're not reporting to France. They're not reporting to France.
They report to France, but via Guadeloupe.
Guadeloupe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
all right.
They're also considered departments. So it's how should I say? Guadeloupe will represent, say, Sint Maarten, the French side,
Sint Maarten, okay,
and Sint Bart's at France and in conventions and so forth.
Okay, beautiful. All right, we're going to be right back. Don't go anywhere. The tiny Dutch-French island of Sint Maarten and Sint Maarten is nestled between the Atlantic Ocean and the Caribbean seas, encircled by 37 cottony white sandy beaches, caressed by emerald blue and green waters under pastel skies. Sint Maarten, the Dutch side of the island, became an independent country in October 2010. Sint Maarten, the French side, is a territory of France. Much more than a beach lover's paradise, the island of Sint Maarten is teemed with natural, cultural, and human riches. Thanks to its climate and untouched natural heritage, the island offers unparalleled year-round water sports and outdoor activities. Welcome back to Sint Maarten. I'm Maxine, and of course this is Marla, my guest, and we're talking about the beautiful island of Sint Maarten. I hope I pronounced that.
You're there. You
Okay,
got it.
I'm there. Okay. Now, we know other Caribbean islands will probably have banana or coconut or whatever their resource. I don't see any banana and any coconut.
Well, yeah, we do have.
I know you do have, but not
not
in,
as, yes.
yeah, not a plantation.
No, we don't
for
have
export.
large plantations that export. It's mainly for use of the personal use.
Yeah.
So people have grown bananas in their backyards and what have you, but the agriculture on the island is not as large enough to support the destination, the island in itself. So a lot of our produce are actually imported from Dominica, St. Lucia, maybe Guadeloupe, Martinique. So we import a lot of stuff from there.
A lot. Okay. So your main source of revenue for the government is
Tourism.
tourism. Okay.
Tourism.
I say that there are 5 huge cruise ships sitting on the pier. When we
Yeah.
pulled in, there were like 2 or 3, and then they just start coming in, and we're
Yeah.
like, my goodness.
Yep, and on some really busy days,
Yes.
we can have up to 9 or 11 cruise ships.
Cruise ships.
Import, one day.
One day.
One day.
My,
Yeah. That's when
Okay.
we all head for the hills. Just kidding.
No, I'm sure. You don't. That means everybody comes out.
Everybody comes out and
Right.
everybody's out there, you know,
Yeah.
welcoming the tourists because
Yeah.
we're a different destination and there's a lot to see, a lot of stops on the island as you've witnessed a few of them.
A few of them. We didn't go to the nude beach though.
No.
We wanted to go to the nude
I
beach.
know. Well, you know, you have to come back and stay on the island.
Yes, we will do that.
Okay.
Pretty soon, pretty soon. All right, now for an island this, I mean, I know it is a small island, but you only have one stoplight? Why is that? Tell me why. And that's amazing. That means that people are courteous. And I saw
We
that.
can be.
They are courteous because our driver would just pull and the other person yield.
Yes.
And then he would yield. So people really are very, very courteous.
Yes,
yeah.
we can be.
Yes.
But the reason for the one
stop
stoplight,
light, yes.
we have been doing a lot of restructuring over the years, and you would actually see a lot more roundabouts. So the stoplights are being replaced by the roundabouts.
By the roundabouts.
Yeah, and we found it easier because as a small island, you have a lot of traffic congestions now and then.
Yeah.
Busy period for us, like the cruise season. Well, not the cruise, but the visitors, the tourist season for us, our high season, is in December. So roughly December 15, give or take a week or two, we would have a lot of the visitors coming in until April, just after our carnival, which is now going on. So we found that it's easier to actually have roundabout because the traffic flowed more than opposed to having to stop at the lights and wait till it turns green and blue, and green and orange, and red.
Yeah.
You know, so it's working for us.
I see that.
Yes, it's
because,
working
you know,
for us.
even though we saw a little bumper thing,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it wasn't serious. They just
Yeah.
came out and were,
Yeah.
yeah, but you know, that's amazing.
Yes,
And
thank
I'm
you.
like, and the stoplight was quite modern,
Yes, it is.
very modern. And the buildings, it's just have a different feel. Like I said, it's a European influence.
Yes,
So
we do.
the structures, the architectural structures are more European.
Yes, we do have quite a mixture actually you can find on the island as well.
Yeah, we went into what we call the cut.
Ah,
You know what the cut is?
I can only
You
imagine.
can only imagine. So, you know, we saw some Caribbean influence there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
a few of that. But mainly, yes, as you mentioned before, it's more European style and architectural that we have.
Yes. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, real estate. Real estate. We understand. I know they're beautiful. And I'm looking at them right now as we're sitting here.
So, well, with the real estate, you have a wide variety.
Expensive? Come
be
on, you can
expensive.
tell me, Marla. Don't be afraid
Okay,
to
so
tell me.
basically we have
Yes.
we have a couple areas that is really, really upscale.
Yes.
So you can pay $1 million go up for property, nice property, of
Nice
course.
property. Or condominiums. I can see.
Condominiums,
Yes.
etc. So, and I'm sure you've probably seen a couple of them.
Several of them.
When you're passing
Beautiful,
through, yeah.
beautiful. Really
So.
very, very modern. Yes.
So we do have that, but in between, and it depends on what you're looking for in the location, you can still find some reasonable areas and locations where you can purchase a home with, you know, whether it's overlooking the water or in the Phillipsburg area near to all the shopping. So it's quite spread out for the little island that's small.
Okay.
But it can be more costly. And
it looks costly, but it's beautiful. I just keep saying it's beautiful.
Thank
but we're going to
you.
take a break and come right back.
No problem.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. Marla, food. You did talk about the different food earlier in terms of influence from different Caribbean islands and from Europe and so forth. But really, typically, there's a particular food that's significant that you would say, this is St. Maarten, like codfish? You do codfish?
We do codfish.
Yes.
We do codfish.
Yeah.
Wow.
No?
Well, because we have the French influence, so
right.
something typical of the French would be maybe an akra, which is it's a floured batter with saltfish, and you dip it in the...
oh, like codfish cake? We call
I
it
guess
codfish
you call
cake? Yeah, we call it codfish cake.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you know, the thing with the Caribbean is
Yeah.
we're all influenced with the same cuisines, types
Okay,
and touches. So for the French really would be the
strongest
akra,
influence.
we call it. But the fish, I would say our most popular, most traditional dishes would be a good stew fish with fungi.
Fungi? What is fungi?
Okay, I think you call it polenta. It's similar to polenta. Cornmeal.
Cornmeal?
You know cornmeal?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Cornmeal?
we call it fungi.
Okay. Not plantain.
Well, we
But
do
the
plantains. I mean, I can rattle down the whole.
No, but
We
I'm
have
thinking
oxtails,
yeah.
and I mean, we
the
have
same as
most
same
of
thing.
same thing. Yeah.
All right, good. All right, jobs and the crime.
Okay.
Let's talk about jobs.
Okay. Well, basically, we are a tourism destination, so I would say roughly about 85% of the jobs are directly related to tourism. So hotels, the taxi services, the stores, mostly to the the little vendors on the street with their fresh drinks, the foods, the beach chairs. So a lot of that is directly related to tourism, even in the airline industry, the airport. So it's mainly tourism. However, we do have the lawyers and the doctors, which we all need, and the educators, the schools. So it's a balance of everything you would find in most of the different islands, but again, more catered towards tourism.
And you do have a university?
We do have a small university on the island, and that's on the Dutch side.
Okay.
And of course, on the French side, there's the collège, which is like collège.
Okay.
College.
College.
In English.
College. Okay.
It's college in English,
like it.
but collège in French.
Okay.
So we do have that as well. And of course, if kids are studying on the Dutch side, they will further their studies in Holland, Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao.
Okay. All right.
Some of them go further. They'll go to probably somewhere in Canada,
US?
the US.
Okay.
And on the French side, it's France, Guadeloupe, Martinique, and then explore further, even the US.
All right. Carnival.
Carnival.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in the middle of carnival season.
Right. Okay.
Tonight we have one of the youth extravaganza nights. So the carnival is actually about 2 weeks and a half, given any particular year. And it usually starts about the second week of April, and it goes till about May 1st, 2nd or 3rd. And in that we have several events, several international shows. So we'll have a reggae night, a zouk night, typically French compa music.
Right.
We have the soca night. Cannot have carnival without soca. We have the calypso eliminations. We have the youth night, which is tonight, where the youths get an opportunity to showcase
their little talent.
Get discovered.
Yes.
So that's happening tonight. We have several pageant shows, and I'm sure those are some of the posters you've seen.
Yes, we saw the posters.
Drive along. As a matter of fact, last night we had the teen carnival event, and night before we had the Miss Mature Carnival. Queen show. So we allow everyone to have an opportunity to showcase their talent and those during the carnival. The grand parade, which is on April 30th, it's a whole parade of beautiful costumes and colors and music and parading along the streets. It's a must-see. It is truly, truly a must-see.
A must-see. All right. So, now, if someone wanted to come to St. Maarten?
Well, we would invite you by visiting our website, www.vacationsstmaarten.com. Or you can always call our agencies, call us on the island. We would be more than happy to invite you to the island. We have direct service with most of the major cities in the United States. The Delta, Continental, JetBlue, American Airlines, United, US Airways. So you can get here.
Air France.
Air France, which you guys captured at the airport. That's one of our biggest.
All right, let's take a break and come right back.
Oh, I didn't see the card.
Welcome back. Of course, we are in Sint Maarten, and this is the final segment with you, Marla.
I'm so sad to go.
I know, but we're going to tour the rest of the island and get more. Now, you know what we did? Which was so crazy, crazy. We went to the airport by the runway, and there were all these people hanging on while the plane is taking off. What is that, a tourist attraction?
It has certainly developed into a tourist attraction.
That's so dangerous.
It is, and there's signs posted, but it seems like every year we have people flocking to the island, and one of the must-see and do things is to get to the airport, hang out on the beach, and when the plane's coming in, snap your pictures.
Yes.
And then we have the thrill seekers, the daredevils, and they would actually go and, stand
fence.
in the back and try to hang on and get wind blast by the jets. And
that was amazing.
It is.
We were able to actually see, I think, 2 or 3 flights that came in.
Oh, good.
And the big flight was the Air France.
Correct.
Air France coming in right over your head.
Right. And I think it's we're one of the few destinations that I can, even when in researching, have that opportunity where you can sit on the beach or stand or and just have a big flight coming overhead and snap pictures and even see them blowing away people, beach chairs. Everything goes into the water.
But not only that, a jet was actually leaving and everybody ran across the street and hung on to the fence, and the jet went pew, and this woman was actually flying. She didn't get off, but her body.
You wave like a flag in the wind.
Yes.
I've seen that. I wouldn't try it, but I've seen it.
What, the government won't stop that?
Well, we have,
Yeah.
and there's signs that's posted there. We've
Yeah, we
added
see
an
the
extra
sign.
piece and
Another
fencing.
fence, yeah, a double fence.
People are still going back. The only thing that we're really truly scared about is anybody seriously getting damaged,
Yeah.
and then you don't have the opportunity to do that anymore. So
Yeah.
there's the beach portion which you can sit and look and hang out, and you feel the jet blast.
Right.
So we're hoping and trying to encourage people to actually stay on that side and not go on the side where the fence is. But
Amazing.
kind of hard to control.
Amazing. I won't try it. I'll just watch them.
Yeah, you're like me.
We'll watch them.
For sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Marla.
Well, it's a pleasure having you.
Oh,
and
of course.
thank
And
you
you're
for-
inviting us back.
I am inviting you back, and
Yes.
we do appreciate the opportunity to talk to your visitors about our beautiful island and
course.
encourage them to come and visit us.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Mwah.
It's a pleasure.
Mwah.
3 on the dot side.
Mwah. Oh, really?
Yes, it is.
We'll be right back.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Maxine Tulloch Show. We had a fascinating and interesting visit to St. Maarten. Needless to say, it was an education for all of us. As we leave, we take with us memories of our new friends and the enlightenment of the Dutch and the French in the beautiful island of Sint Maarten and Sint Maarten. See ya in St. Thomas on the next episode of the Maxine Tulloch Show. Mwah!